What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Pitching Ninja's filthiest pitches of the day. Remember, before we get to those pitches, hit that subscribe button. Go ahead, do it right now. You'll never regret it. Be a part of the best baseball community on YouTube. And now, without further ado, here are my filthiest pitches of the day. I'm going to start with Jack Flaherty. Welcome back, Jack. He had 6 Ks in 5 innings, giving up only 1 run. And had solid velocity on his fastball, had these nasty curveballs, and wicked slider. He kind of looked like prime Jack Flaherty, which is good news for the Cardinals and bad news for the opposition. He was matched up against Anibal Sanchez, who had this nasty changeup. Keegan Aiken had 4 strikeouts, thanks to these sliders and swords. Jose Barrios had 2 Ks and this sick curveball. Jameson Taillon had 3 Ks in 5 innings. And had these dirty breaking balls. Martin Perez had 5 Ks and this changeup and cutter. Kevin Gausman had 6 Ks in 6 2/3 innings. His fastball was up to 98 miles an hour, and of course, he had his wicked splitters. Here's an overlay of his fastball and splitter, and you can see why that is a tough at-bat for a hitter. And then here's an overlay of his splitter and slider. Those start off looking the same, and then end up going off in opposite directions. That is a lot of ground for a hitter to cover. Tristan McKenzie had 5 strikeouts in 5 2/3 innings thanks to his hammer curveballs, as well as his fastball and slider. Brady Singer only had 1 K, but that 1 K was filthy. Check out this wicked slider from Singer where he absolutely dismantles Jose Ramirez. Yuck. That's like getting your ankles broken in basketball by a crossover. Jose Suarez had 7 strikeouts and 7 shutout innings thanks to his painted fastball and changeups. Logan Webb had 6 Ks in 6 innings and had this beautiful painted backdoor sinker as well as these nasty changeups and slider. He outdueled Andrew Heaney, who had 8 strikeouts in 5 1/3 innings but gave up 5 runs. Michael Wacha had these gorgeous changeups. Opponents are only hitting 165 against his changeup with a 33.5% whiff rate. And here are a couple overlays to show you why. First, he uses his fastball to set up his changeup, creating an early swing. And then this overlay is the opposite. He uses his changeup to set up his fastball, getting the foul ball on the changeup and blows the fastball by you. So you can use your fastball to speed up a bat and then throw a changeup to get the swing and miss, or use that changeup to slow down the hitter and then blow that fastball by him. Lance Lynn had 11 strikeouts in 7 innings. Giving up only 3 hits and lowering his ERA to 4.34. He, of course, had his fastball working, but he's worked more and more curveballs into these outings. And that's a huge part of the reason for turning his season around. He's added about 3.5 inches more sweep to that curveball, and opponents are only hitting 162 against it. He also had a nasty changeup. Lynn has always been known as a guy who throws a ton of fastballs, and now by working in more off-speed pitches, he's keeping hitters off balance. Of course, these wouldn't be Lance Lynn highlights if he didn't drop an F-bomb after a strikeout and let out a big Ric Flair woo after his 11th K. Blake Snell had 10 strikeouts in 6 innings, and his slider was probably the filthiest pitch from a starter last night. He just kept racking up K after K after K on his slider and has a 42.9% whiff rate on that pitch this season. And I freaking love this. He got a White Castle special for his 10th K. And after the last slider, you can see Christian Walker mouth to himself, "Effing sliders." Hilarious. I wanted to make sure to highlight 2 pitchers making their debuts and having scoreless outings yesterday. Ryne Nelson had this 98-mile-an-hour fastball at the knees-ish, a wicked slider, and this happy accident painted fastball.
We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents.
He had 7 Ks and 7 shutout innings. And I have to say, I was incredibly impressed by Hunter Brown's debut. He had 5 strikeouts and 6 shutout innings, giving up only 3 hits. He had an impressive 97-mile-an-hour fastball and a ridiculous and weird slider. It's an incredibly high-velocity slider. You can see he gets the K with this 94-mile-an-hour slider, and he had one up to 96 miles an hour. I'd kind of call it a slutter, a mix between a slider and a cutter. But this is a family show. He also had some ferocious curveballs, which actually seemed to be his best pitch. And this is cool. Hunter Brown's idol is Justin Verlander. Brown grew up idolizing Verlander and modeled his mechanics after him. So I decided to match them up side by side, and check this out. That is amazing. I also love Verlander cheering Brown on from the dugout. That has to mean a ton to a young pitcher making his debut. Almost like a proud father. Now on to my filthiest relievers. Camilo Doval had this sinker and slider. Pete Fairbanks had this 99-mile-an-hour cheese at the knees, and then this Expelliarmus 99-mile-an-hour fastball.
Expelliarmus!
Brian Abreu had these vicious sliders. Clay Holmes had these nasty sinkers and a White Castle special. Liam Hendricks had this 99-mile-an-hour heater and, of course, lost his mind. The pitcher formerly known as the Witch, Blake Treinen, had this incredible sinker and slider combo, and look at this when you overlay them. I think those pitches end up 3 miles apart. That man's stuff is ridiculous. And you might remember he won the Pitching Ninja Award for the filthiest pitcher in 2021. I'm going to say he tied as the filthiest reliever yesterday, because this from Greg Weissert is pure insanity. This is a two-seamer that ran 16 inches and a slider that broke 22 inches. And when you overlay them, holy crap. That is freaking amazing. And now, my Pitching Ninja moment of zen. It's Kody Clemens striking out Shohei Ohtani for his first career strikeout, and then calling time to get the ball authenticated. The father-son duo of Roger Clemens and Kody Clemens now have a total of 4,673 Ks. How can you not be romantic about baseball? What is up, Ninja Nation? My picks of the day today are a 3-leg parlay. First, I'm going to do a nice same-game parlay with Jesus Luzardo, yep, the Jesus Lizard for 6 Ks or more, and Aaron Nola for 9 Ks or more. And then I'm going to add in defending AL Pitcher of the Month, Drew Rasmussen, for 5 Ks or more. What would your picks of the day be?